Welcome to Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, the podcast where fake love is exposed. I'm Nova Gibson and I am your host. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling.com.au. This space is dedicated to helping you reclaim your worth and understand the impact of toxic relationships with suspected narcissists. You deserve clarity, healing, and freedom from the pain of fake love and flying monkeys. So please leave a review and grab a copy of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Let's uncover the truth and take back your power. It wasn't that bad, was it? Maybe it really was my fault. Oh, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Guys, if these thoughts are spinning around in your head after leaving a relationship with a narcissist, believe me, you are not alone. In fact, you're actually a part of a pretty big club, one no one ever wants to join, but one that so many of us find ourselves in before we even realize what hits us. And normally that feels like a bus. So let's sit down, grab a cuppa, maybe something a little heavier, and let's talk about the fact that you're not crazy. The real madness in this relationship was what that person put you through. So when we talk about feeling crazy after narcissistic abuse, we're not being dramatic. Narcissistic abuse is specifically designed to confuse and destabilize and disempower you. This isn't just a bad breakup. This is psychological warfare dressed up as love. And it all starts with the love bombing. Remember how they made you feel at the beginning? Like the most special person on earth, constant text, intense compliments, late night convos where you just clicked. Wow, you thought, maybe I found my soulmate. That phase is called the love bombing phase, and it is a classic narcissistic tactic to hook you in. It's manipulative. It's not genuine. You didn't know it at the time though. So how could you tell that this person was pretending to be someone that they're not? So then comes the devaluation stage. Once the narcissist knows you're invested, maybe you've moved in, maybe made a commitment, or just emotionally bonded to the person before the mask slips. Suddenly, you're not so amazing anymore. Now you're too sensitive, overreacting, selfish. They start nitpicking things around stuff that they said they used to adore about you. They ignore your feelings. They withhold affection. And then when you're ready to walk away from that sort of treatment, they start the love bombing up again so that you never go anywhere. And then comes the discard phase. Eventually, they have to discard you because you're empty. You're no longer full of the life-giving force of narcissistic supply. And this is where it becomes so confusing because of this roller coaster of love bombing, devaluing, discard. And if they're really good at their game, they'll hoover you back to see if you're up for another round of abuse. Now, let's start with the big one, gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into doubting your reality. A narcissist, they've got PhDs in this. Did they lie, then deny it ever happened? Did they say something cruel, then claim they were joking? Did they do something awful and then somehow make you apologize? That's gaslighting. And the more it happens, the more you begin to question your perception of reality. And you end up asking yourself, did I make this up? Am I overthinking? Maybe I am too emotional. Over time, your self-trust erodes away. You stop believing your gut. You look to them to define what is real. And that's by design, because a narcissist does not want an equal partner. They are all about control. So you feel crazy because you were trained, conditioned to doubt yourself. This part is subtle, but it's absolutely brutal. Narcissists don't just tear you down. They slowly, methodically train you to do it yourself. They chip away at your confidence. Are you really going to wear that? Or you always overreact. You cannot survive without me. So after a while, you internalize that voice. Even once they're gone, you're still carrying it around inside your head. You've been taught to second guess your decisions, needs, and even your sanity. It's like you've been programmed, and now you're trying to unlearn a really toxic operating system. And you also feel crazy because the highs were so high and the lows were so low. A narcissistic relationship is just like a roller coaster, only this one is not a fun one. One day you're being told you're the best thing that's ever happened to them. The next, they're ghosting you for no reason, raging at you or cheating and then blaming you for it. This, guys, is called intermittent reinforcement. It's a tactic used in casinos and cults, seriously, because it creates addiction, a trauma bond where the reward is unpredictable. You work even harder to get that reward. So you stay longer than you should. You tolerate more than you ever thought you would. You keep trying to win them back. And guys, it's not because you're weak. Once again, it's because you were trauma bonded, and trauma bonding literally changes your brain chemistry. You also feel crazy because no one believes you. Let's talk about what happens after you leave. You try to explain what you've been through to friends or family, and they just don't get it. But they seem so nice. They say to you, they were always polite to me. Are you sure it was abuse? And inside you're screaming because no one else saw what you saw. Narcissists are expert, guys, at putting you on show, putting on a show to outsiders, playing the victim, making you out to be the unstable one. So now you're not only isolated, misunderstood, and doubting yourself even more. It's also more maddening. You feel extra crazy because you've lost yourself. Maybe you've stopped seeing your friends. Maybe you've even given up all of your hobbies. Maybe you've stopped speaking up or even trying to think for yourself. Why? Because in a narcissistic relationship, everything becomes about them, their moods, their needs, their dramas. You start walking on eggshells 24/7. You become a shell of your former self. So when you finally leave, you look in the mirror and you think, who am I anymore? This isn't you being crazy, guys. This is you finally waking up that you've been in psychological captivity. You feel crazy because you can't stop thinking about them then. You think after all the hell they put you through, you'd be glad to be free. Your brain would want to think about something else. But instead, you miss them. You dream about them. You stalk their socials. You wonder if maybe they've changed. You might even want them back. And guys, that is not crazy. That's a trauma bond talking. Your body still craves the highs, even though your brain knows it was toxic. It's a bit like withdrawal after addiction, the obsessive thinking, that anxiety, that grief. That's your nervous system untangling itself from this terrible cycle of abuse. you feel crazy again. You feel crazy even more because they made you the villain. Let's not forget the smear campaign, that little old chestnut. Once you leave or even think about leaving, narcissists will go on the offensive. They twist the story. They play the victim. They tell mutual friends, family, or even your workplace that you're unstable, unfaithful, abusive. You're the one who's controlling. And it's the ultimate mind, F-U-C-K. Because now not only are you dealing with trauma, you're trying to defend yourself against lies. It just makes you want to scream. It makes you want to confront them. It makes you question everything you thought you knew. But guys, please trust this. You don't need to defend yourself to anyone who doesn't already see your truth. Guys, I wish I could stop, but there is so much more they make you feel crazy for. And they make you feel crazy because this journey of abuse, it's not linear. One day you feel clear and empowered. The next day you're ringing your therapist at 2 a.m. and wondering if it really all happened when you're trying to heal. And this is normal. Healing from narcissistic abuse is not linear. It is not a straight line. It's a mess. It's a spiral. It's a storm. And you have to take one day at a time to reclaim the peace you deserve. So what you're feeling is not weakness, guys. Let me say this loud and clear. Feeling crazy after narcissistic abuse is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that something was very wrong with the relationship, but it was wrong with the person mainly who was abusing you. Guys, you were lied to. You were manipulated, blamed, isolated, emotionally starved. And despite all that, you got out. Or maybe you're still trying and you're still feeling alone. But guys, please, there is help out there. How to reclaim your sanity and yourself? Well, let's shift gears a bit here. Here's how you can start claiming your peace and calming that storm. Well, we've got to stop sugarcoating it, guys. We've got to stop calling it a bad breakup because this is abuse. Call it narcissistic abuse. Call it psychological abuse, emotional abuse. Naming it helps your brain validate the trauma. Cut contact as much as possible. Grey rock if you share kids. Block them, mute them. Don't check their socials. Don't respond to the bait. Every time you engage, you reopen the wound. You do not owe them closure. You owe yourself peace. You've got to reconnect with your instincts and your gut. Start small, guys. What do you want to eat? What do you like to watch? What do you actually like to wear? You've been trained to ignore your instincts. Relearning takes time, but it starts with little everyday choices. So find safe people to talk to. Get a therapist who gets it, a support group, a friend who's been through similar. You need validation like air right now. And if someone says, well, just move on, ignore them. You guys have to give yourself permission as well to feel it all. The anger, the sadness, the shame, the confusion, and also the relief, but in a safe environment. There's no right emotion here. There's no rush to healing. Just scream, get a pillow, cry for all you're worth, but get it out. Just don't live there. Put a timer on. And when that timer goes off, if it's 20 minutes, half an hour that you've been crying into that pillow or screaming into it, you dry your eyes, wash your face, and you move on. And you say to yourself, I'm not crazy. I am worth so much more and I deserve the world. Remind yourself that you are worthy of love. Final thoughts, guys. You are not alone in this. If you're feeling crazy after a narcissistic relationship, I want you to know something, that you are sane, you are strong, you are coming back to life, but it's a journey. Don't push yourself too hard. Don't come down on yourself when you have little setbacks. This was real. What you're feeling is normal. One day, this will feel like somewhat of a distant memory, and you won't be triggered the way you once were. You will be stronger, wiser, but you will be happy, and certainly you will be free. So one choice at a time, guys. You survived something most people will never understand, and that is nothing short of remarkable. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Yes, the narcissist makes you feel crazy before, during, and afterwards if they can. That's what they do. So guys, if you are feeling crazy in your own relationship with a narcissist before, during, or after, please just see my website link in the description. I would love to be able to support you one-on-one with a Zoom counseling session. Look for my book as well in the description, my best-selling book, Fake Love. I know there will be so much more information in it which will help you not only to validate and understand your abuse, but will give you concrete strategies to escape and heal. On that note, guys, it's bye from me for now. Until the next episode, remember, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.